and gentlemen, the world television champion, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Dusty, welcome.
I am the cold-blooded sausage maker. Cold-blooded sausage maker. Cold-blooded sausage maker. I am the cold-blooded sausage maker. Cold-blooded sausage maker. Cold-blooded sausage maker.
Welcome to the debut of The Common Fan. I am your co-host, Paul, at Legend Pop, and joining me, coming down the aisle, you know him from AEW, WWE, your local indie fed, the Mike Ramundi, the American Dream cosplayer. I don't know how else to introduce you, Coach.
The American Dream lives on, baby. You know, I'm just a common man. That's all I need. All you have to say is he's just a common man. You know what I'm saying?
So Mike Ramundi, known for being Dusty at a lot of events for the past few years, and I know you much longer than that. I know from the origin of this persona, and I figured we had been talking, and maybe it was time to do a podcast / YouTube show / whatever this turns into for the fans, by the fans. We'll feature fans on the show, but the one constant will be you, the son of a plumber. No, not quite.
Yeah, so as a lot of people know, I've had amazing experience as a fan. Experiences only people can dream of. I've met so many amazing people. And I said to myself, you know, I meet a lot of people at shows and, you know, make friends on social media. And I said, how about there are other fan stories that need to be told? Definitely. And maybe I'm the one that should tell them. There's so many fans, there's so many amazing stories. And I said to myself, I really want to have a show for the fans, by a fan, very positive show. We're not going to talk about wrestling and rip apart wrestling. You know, we're not going to do, oh, God damn, I didn't like that show. We're not doing that.
We'll leave the 7-star ratings and the complaints to Meltzer and the other dirt sheet writers, and we'll be the one to focus on what we enjoy, right? What we enjoy out of wrestling now, then forever. Together. We'll do it together with everyone. I know you have some potential great co-hosts and other guests lined up for us down the road, but we brainstormed this to be kind of like your origin story for how we got to where we are today with you. Right.
So I know people have seen me. They say, oh, he goes to every show. He's at every event. Not true. I'm not at every event. All my local, you know, when AEW, WWE are local, I try to get there. Obviously dressed as Dusty. So I wanted to tell my story for this first show. And then in the future have other fans on for them to tell their stories. You know, people see me. Some people didn't even know way back when it started that it was the same guy. And I always tell people, baby, who else is going to get these polka dots over? You know what I'm saying? Who else is going to do this? There's nobody could get that over but me. So that's the goal. You know, people know bits and pieces of the origin story. So, baby, we're going to go back in time, if you will. If I can turn back time, baby, I give it all to you. So, let's go back in time, Paul.
Okay, so we're going to start back, way back, right? We want to go back to... Do you want to tell first a little bit how before the actual costume came into play?
Right. Well, it's the year 2013. Me and Paul are getting ready to go to WrestleMania 29 with a bunch of friends of ours. And Dusty is supposedly going to be at Fan Access. So we were talking about it a while, and they say, you're going to meet him. I can't wait to meet him. You know, so not telling anyone, I decided I'm going to make a polka dot t-shirt. I'm going to go to Party City, get a wig, get a headband, elbow pad, really wasn't. And there's a bionic elbow. You know, the elbow's not even on the right elbow to pad, baby. What were we doing out there?
There's me. This is the best shot I could get of the smaller version of this.
That's in the parking lot of MetLife Stadium. And as soon as I walked around the arena, and if you remember, I couldn't believe the response that it got from people taking pictures and people coming up to me and doing Dusty impressions. I really didn't think it was going to be that at all. I literally went and I said, I really want to see Dusty's reaction from a fan that was a fan of his 1989 run, polka dot run, which I was. And that was the whole plan. That's who is that vacant on the left? Is that vacant?
Believe that's the Gobbledygooper.
Oh, okay. We don't want to. We want
to put him back in the egg.
He's going back in that egg.
That's a bad egg.
For a long time. Yeah. But we had an amazing weekend. So we're walking around WrestleMania Access, which I don't even think they do anymore the way they used to do it.
Not the way they used to.
And there's legends that are going to be there. It's going to be Dusty. It's going to be Sergeant Slaughter. It's going to be Bob Backlund. So we're walking around. We can't find Dusty. I see an empty table with an empty chair. We keep walking around. I see Sergeant Slaughter. And Sergeant Slaughter's digging my outfit, and he goes, I got bad news for you. I said, what happened? Dusty went AWOL. He's not going to be here. And I was just crushed. I was crushed. And you guys were laughing at me at the time because I had put this whole thing together to see Dusty, and I wasn't going to see him. And I went to the concession stand and was like, man, I got to get myself a beer or something like that. I am crushed. I literally was so looking forward to meeting him, and it wasn't going to happen.
I have a little surprise for you on stream here also from that day.
Baby, we're going back in. Oh, there he is. Harley Race.
Where is Big Dusty? He walking around here. Oh, baby,
you just want to get your butt kicked again.
Man, Harley was a good sport. God bless him.
Yeah, and even you see Mil Mascaris in that. He was laughing himself when he looked over.
God bless Harley Race. He was a good sport. And during that time, I really didn't know how much history he had with Harley Race, and I didn't know all the history of Dusty because I was so embedded in the polka dots as a kid and everything.
Well, let's unveil the curtain or the layers of the onion a little bit more. A lot of the dialogue was the Goldust impression of
that's right.
Dusty from back in 97 or 98, where he dressed up as Dusty and he cut a promo before it. But it wasn't him actually doing the voice; it was Bruce Pritchard, which is a little trivia,
right,
for that promo. And beating had a legendary feud 20,000 times in a row. So a lot of your original stuff started there, right?
That's right.
Before we got deeper into the lore of Dusty and all the promos and Cold-Blooded Sausage Maker, which we open with.
I remember saying, like, baby, if Dustin could do it, I could do it too. You know what I'm saying? I could do it better than him. No, I can't do it better than him. And Dustin, I've met before, and he's an amazing, nice guy, and he's met me in the polka dots, and that's down the line. But yeah, I remember. I don't even remember meeting Harley Race. I remember, like I said, I remember Slaughter.
Yeah, we also met Tamina. That I don't have queued up, but we were
going around meeting everybody, and no Dusty. So we're walking around, and the pre-show is about to start. It's getting a little later in the afternoon, and someone pulls me, and they say Dusty is at the pre-show desk. He's at the pre-show desk with Jim Ross. Man, I don't know who was there back at the time. I can't remember. I know he was sitting next to Jim Ross.
I think Kofi. Yeah, I think those were the three. Maybe one of the other guys that have left the company, one of the other hosts, not a wrestler.
Yeah. So there's a sea of people, and they all see how I'm dressed, and they let me go all the way to the front. I mean, there's a sea of people. I had no business even getting that close.
Right.
And I go all the way front of the guardrail. And I see him, and I know he sees me because Jim Ross is whispering in his ear, pointing down there, and they're kind of giving a little giggle. So I'm waiting and waiting, and finally, the pre-show's over. And I remember Dusty grabbed a security guy, and he whispered to him, and he pointed down, and he came and down walked toward me. And he gave me a hug, and I said, Dusty, what do you think of this? I came here to meet you. I'm like, what do you think of this? He's like, I love it, baby. I love it, baby. And that was it. Someone had taken a really bad, blurry picture of me and him.
That I don't have. You didn't.
Yeah,
it's not great. We'll save a better shot for
right.
later.
So
to me, that's what makes this story so great is that the opportunity you had to meet Dusty more than once. We'll get to it before he passed, and he really just I was there for both occasions, but I wasn't there when he hugged you the first time. But when you met him down the line, and to see the humor he took in it and the joy he took out of it is awesome. For me as a fan, also.
Yeah, a lot of it is a blur to me because you're so nervous, and some people there that day probably maybe remember better than I do. I mean, it was a blur. It happened so fast. So now I had met Dusty. Awesome. Now we find out down the line that Dustin is going to be in an independent show right near our neck of the woods, literally in our backyard. So we decide to go. And once again, I've got the same getup on. And I remember going, this thing going to go two ways. He is either going to hate it and he's going to kick me out of here. I didn't know what to expect. And he comes out for an autograph signing, and the first thing he does is come up to me and hug me. And he gave me kind of the same kind of, man, I love that. That is awesome. Dad would love that. And that really hit me. I was like, wow. And I think I kind of told him, I'm like, well, I'm not the first one to impersonate the polka dots. And he laughed because he knew what I was talking about. It was him. And we had probably spoke for close to a half hour. And this was right before he went back to work for WWE. And I had told him, I had read his book, and he said he had finally gotten over all his demons and he was ready to refocus. And I told him I'd followed him through his career, leaving and coming and going. And I've always been a fan of his. And when he was wrestling practically in my backyard, I had to come see him. And he said, well, I'm working on signing a contract. This is my last chance. And I remember saying to him, I'm like, your dad is in the office. I'm like, there's something he's got to do for you. And he goes, it doesn't work like that. He goes, I have to get it together. I have to earn it. And he says, I think, that's what my goal is. And I wished him the best of luck. And I told him I'd follow him wherever he went. And a few months after that,
look at this.
I believe he fought Randy Orton.
Almost 20 years later, he's still doing it.
Yeah.
Not 20 years, 10 years later. I'm sorry. It was 2013.
10 years later.
10 years. He's still doing it.
Yeah. He's in his 50s now. Maybe better than ever. Has his own wrestling school. I believe he is the head guy for the women in AEW. So he really turned it. I mean, he really turned it around after that. Got back in the WWE, won the tag team championships. So that was a point where he was wrestling in front of maybe 100 to 200 people that night. So he'd gone from, doing big things to really
20,000 to 200.
Yeah, doing everything. Manias with Roddy Piper. And now you're wrestling in front of 200 people. But he was the most humble, nicest guy. He gave me so much time to talk. I felt like I was talking to him like I'm just talking to a guy in the street or a friend. And he loved it. And I told him I had met Dusty at WrestleMania very briefly, and I told him the story, and he started laughing. So that was another Rhodes story I had.
I have another surprise video to interlude.
Oh, baby, we got a lot of surprises.
It's not from that particular night. We do have some footage from that night. Maybe we'll show it another time, but I wasn't able to pull that up. This is from a SmackDown that we went to.
You stand right here so I can get behind you.
Oh my! Things again a little. Oh boy!
Mr. Rhodes in the headlock.
Oh boy!
My life. 1974. I've been waiting for this.
I can't move him. Look, I give
He
up.
locked it in.
He locked it in. I was done. Man, do you think that can even happen nowadays?
I don't know. Probably not. But
I mean,
you see yourself try to jostle him to like almost give him like a back body drop, and he cinched it in.
No
He wasn't
chance.
going anywhere.
that
He wasn't going
man
anywhere.
that man is built like a a brick house. He's
Well,
still
I
in phenomenal shape.
I didn't have the beginning into there, but it's funny they're asking like your name for the it wasn't a video. Also, it was a photo op, right?
It was a
So
photo
he's really
op, yeah.
sinking it in. I'm luckily taking the video, but the person taking the picture's asking for your name, and you're saying Dusty, and then Backlund's like Dusty.
Yeah,
I remember that was a great time.
man, there's so much stuff has happened that I can't even. It's hard to remember, but I remember him being strong as an ox. I remember him had me, and I tried to budge him, and man, it was not working. And you see me in the video, put my hands up. I'm like, man, do you think that could even happen today?
Probably not.
I don't think that.
Could you imagine? He was just in around the concession area, right? We were just walking around the concessions. I think of Nassau Coliseum, and he's just there.
You just paid. I think it was like $20, and you got a picture with him. And I was always a fan of Backlund. Especially with his run with Bret Hart,
right,
during those times. And man, that's really, I don't think stuff like that can even happen, a kind of interaction like that. But you see me shake his hand and playing along.
Oh, he was really cool with it.
Oh, I mean, he was really good, and I'm laughing, and I'm kind of like, Bob, I've had enough. I mean, he's gonna, he keeps squeezing there. I'm going to sleep.
Well, that's the fun of it, right? The wrestlers that like play into it with you, that play along.
The interactions I've had, obviously, we're going to keep going with it, but have been amazing. I mean, Bob Backlund's really got you in a headlock, know, and like, to watch that, to think about if that could ever happen now, I don't even know. But that's great footage right there. And the evolving of the polka dots. So now, we went to some events, and the day I met Dusty, a lot of people have you ever met Dusty? Have you ever met Dusty? And I said, yes, I've met Dusty. Dusty, the day before Battleground, where he teamed with Cody and Goldust at the time, he was in a convention, Legends of the Ring in New Jersey. He was the head name there. He was the big name there. I think it might have been Ricky Steamboat as well.
I think so.
So now I'm in all polka dots, and a lot of the wrestlers in the main room are laughing, and they're like, man, I don't know what he's gonna think of that. There's always been controversy with these polka dots. He's in a separate room, and I remember his manager, who I met later down the road. It was a yellow ticket, and I give him my yellow ticket, and he looks me up and down. He goes, so you're a big fan of Dusty, huh? I said, yeah. He said, I don't know what he's gonna think of all this. And I got really nervous. So I walk in the room, and Dusty's just signing. Some of these people have so much stuff, the toys, and he's just signing autograph, and he's got his head down, and I walk in the room, and everybody starts giggling. And I'm like, oh, man. And he's trying to wonder why everyone's starting to giggle and make noise. And he looks up, and he said, look at this guy over here. Who let this guy in over here? Who let him? He's like, no, it's okay. Let him come in. And I get to him. I reach my hand out for a handshake. And I just remember him grabbing me with his big hands and big wrists and bringing me for a hug. A big Dusty hug, baby, a bear hug. And I said, Dusty, do you remember me from WrestleMania? He's like, yes, of course I do. He's like, I love it, And we got this great picture, and I just love the smile on his face makes it. The smile on his face makes it. What everyone said about Polk. And I told him, I said, I told him I'm a big fan of yours, and I grew up, as a kid watching you. And he had a lot of pictures down. He gave me an autograph. He's like, let me find something for you. He's like, go ahead, pick one. And of course, I picked the one where he's wearing the polka dots, and he's like, I had a feeling you're going to pick that one. So before I left him, I said, Dusty, I said, I've been dressing up like you. I've been going to events. The wrestlers like it, the crowd, I've been taking pictures of fans. What should I do? Should I keep it going? The polka dots? He's like, baby, you have to keep it going, baby. You have to keep it going. So I said, well, there's the blessing from the man himself. And it didn't feel like he was just rubbing me off. It felt like he enjoyed it. And you were there. And what did it look like from an outsider? Because it's a big blur to me. I'm really nervous doing this.
Yeah, I remember like waiting in the line with you. I may have taken this picture. I don't recall. But he didn't take pictures like this with everyone in the line. And I got a picture with him also, which is a nice picture. I don't have it currently. Maybe we'll share it on a future show. He's not posing like this in the picture with me either. And he just really genuinely enjoyed it. But the key thing I remember you didn't touch on was when we were going on the line. We were going on the line. Everyone on the line is popping for you walking by. And you peek your head into the room. And Dusty says, baby, Mick, that guy's got to go on the back of the line. Send that guy to the back of the line. Where's he going? I remember that vividly.
Man.
Send that guy to because I thought he was going to like play it. Mick, send him to the back of the line.
Oh, Lord.
That's what I remember.
I just remember people laughing. I was so nervous. And it's been, it was a long time ago. It's 10 years ago. So. Right. As I get older, my memory is not what it used to be. But it was a great interaction.
It was a great experience. And you and I have met a lot of guys over the years, whether paid or just shooting the shit, which we'll get on with. But everyone's a different experience. And that one went better for me personally than I could have expected with him.
Yeah. It's an amazing experience. And it's a great story. I mean, it's like, I told him flat out, should I keep doing it? Should I keep it going? What do you think? And he goes, baby, you have to, baby. You have to. I never would imagine in my wildest dreams 10 years later still doing it and what it's become. But that's a story. And that's unfortunately the last time I met Dusty. But there's straight from my loins, baby. Straight from my loins.
This is shortly after, right? Is this that same year?
So now, year, right? We talked about Goldust and his career. Now he's in WWE Tag Team Champions, and instead of seeing him at 200 people, I have to wait in line in the city for 2 hours, wrapped around the block, with my nephew. You see in the picture Goldust holding him. And this is the first time I meet Cody, and Cody's really kayfabe. He's Stardust. And I just remember Goldust gave me a big hug. I'm like, do you remember me? He's like, of course I remember you. He's like, how are you? And I said, I got to meet your dad. He's like, yes, I know. And it was really cool. And I went to Cody, and I gave him a hug. He's just like, dad, over and over. And he's doing the whole Stardust thing. And, Goldust just picks up my nephew, and they hand me the tag team belt, and you can see they're smiling, and everybody is kind of laughing and smiling. And I remember someone took a picture and posted it, and they were like, Rhodes family reunion here today at the event. And at these events, listen, it's really fast. You get your picture, you get a minute, but they definitely took some extra time with me.
Yeah. I'm sure they weren't picking up nephew, children and giving you the belts and doing this.
Yeah, I mean, my nephew Junior was, starting to get into wrestling, and he was so excited. I mean, Goldust is picking them up like he's, So another one, I didn't get to talk to them much, but they really appreciated it. And as you can see now, the polka dot shorts are coming to play, the knee pads, the costume and cosplay is starting to evolve as I get more, as I go to more events. I'm trying to get more and more realistic to what exactly he wore.
Right.
And some people have asked me, no, these are not, and never wore his polka dots. I would never, ever do that. These are not his, nor did he ever wear. This is custom made. I'm on my 3rd polka dot outfit now. in 10 years. And the way it's going, number 4 is coming quick of how much I've been wearing it.
How often have they been washed?
Maybe you can't wash these polka dots. Maybe they're falling off.
Let's go to my last video that I have on here.
You got a lot of surprises.
The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes in Brooklyn at SummerSlam. Brooklyn, the only place where the men wear tighter jeans than the women, baby, if you will.
A little Channel 11, New York, little pre-show interview.
That's SummerSlam, right?
Yeah, well, he sat
SummerSlam.
on the floor. 2015?
That was a few months after Dusty had passed.
Right.
And people were still, I think, just in shock. And it was, people were just still missing him and still giving tributes to him. He passed away in June. I think it's June 11th he passed away. And yeah, we're about 2 months after that, and WWE had did so much on him, well-deserving, documentaries and tribute shows to him, and it was really fresh in everybody's mind that he was gone, and it was awesome that, the fans appreciated, the news appreciated it. I mean, baby, the American dream lives on. And I remember saying to myself, I'm like, he's gone forever, physically, but I'm going to just I think he would have wanted and enjoyed me to keep his memory alive at Wrestling Now so people don't forget. And I remember I had a sign that said never forget.
Yes.
You see me holding that sign. So another cool moment in the list of moments. Yeah. So now Dusty has passed, and Cody and Dustin leave WWE and go to AEW. And I said, well, I have to follow them. I'm going to go follow them. They're my guys. I'm going to follow them. COVID happens. All my wrestling attending shows is shut down like everybody else for almost a year or 2 years. And finally, AEW is back in New Jersey. I buy a ticket the same day online, and I'm going straight from work. I have a wrestling t-shirt and jeans, or I have the polka dots. And I said to myself, they haven't talked about Dusty after his passing. They haven't really even, they hadn't really made it public. Do I wear the polka dots? I'm literally a walking WWE billboard with this. This has nothing to do with AEW. I said, you know what? What's the worst they can do? They tell me to change. I go in the car and change. I'm going to wear them, and I don't care. I've been wearing them, and I'm going to keep wearing them. So I wear them, and the fans are loving it. The people who work for AEW are actually really loving it. I'm taking pictures, and they're talking to me. And CM Punk just came to AEW, and I had squeezed my way to the front guardrail. As usual, people just let Dusty go where he go because they love him. And CM Punk decides to come out during his entrance to just hang out with me, and I'm on TV for 10 seconds with CM Punk.
We don't have the shot. I'm sure we'll share it on a future show.
Yeah.
If you watch AEW as a fan, I'm sure you've seen it before also.
Right. And that was almost like the rebirth of the polka dots. Yes. I'm like, wow, people still like it. I'm like, it's not, they're not going to say, hey, listen, you can't come in here looking like that. We don't, I mean, his two sons work for the company and started the company. So the tribute kept going. And after I meet CM Punk, actually the more important thing happens. I go back to get like a drink, or I'm really hot. My adrenaline is pumping. And a photographer from AEW comes up to me, young woman. And she goes, hey, I like your outfit. Can I take your picture? I said, yeah, of course you can. And I pose. I do a little Dusty pose. And I look at her. I'm like, you look very familiar. And she starts laughing. I'm like, you're Dakota. I'm like, you're Dustin Rhodes' daughter. I'm like, you're Dusty's granddaughter. And she's like, yes, I am. And she says, when I saw you down here dressed like that, she's like, I had to come say hello. She's like, I never thought that working here and, the year, I think it's 2021 at the time, that I would see this at an event. And I kind of gave her the short story. I showed her pictures on my phone. I'm like, well, by the way, I've met Dusty and I've met your dad and I've met Cody when he was Stardust. And she was like, wow. She's like, and I told her the story of how, Dusty had gave me the blessing to keep going. And I said, I didn't even know if you guys would let me in the building. And I said, I'm going to ask you what. She goes, I love it. And I go, I'm like, can we get a picture together? And it was kind of reassuring me like, hey, keep it going. He's not here any longer, but the family is giving me the blessing. And it was more than I ever needed to hear about continuing to do it. And, they put me, getting on TV, CM Punk, hanging out with me during his entrance. So
let me ask you about the next one, the craziest one to me.
So
it's so weird.
I'm just at the guardrail and she's coming out and
Rosario
she just comes
Dawson,
up to me.
Those,
Rosario Dawson. She comes up to me and she goes, "Oh, I love me some Dusty."
Oh, baby.
And I'm like, "Come here for the real thing, baby." and I give her a hug, and I just say to myself, I'm like, there's security all over. I'm like, am I crossing the line? I'm like, this woman is, and I give her a big hug and she's smiling. And everyone's like, this guy has got to be a plant.
Yeah.
He knows somebody. And everyone's asking me this question. Baby, I'm just a common man. That's it. That's my answer. And
we have something for everybody in the show, even the Star Wars fans now. You got Ahsoka Tano and Dusty Rhodes together.
That's like and she just came up to me. She goes, "Oh, I love me some Dusty," and she gave me a big hug, and I was shocked. I'm like, all right, so you get to see me, CM Punk standing with you, and now you get Rosario Dawson hugging you, and AEW actually posted that on their social media. Once or twice. Yeah, that picture. Actually, the picture was, look at all the famous people who've been to her. It was like Shaq, her, and then you see me up there. I'm like, one of these things doesn't belong. Baby, I'm the Babe Ruth of professional wrestling, baby.
Let's rapid fire a couple, and maybe you could just tell me the story behind them as I post.
Go ahead, baby. Jog my memory. If we could turn back time, if you will. Oh, here we go. Mick Foley,
hardcore legend, Mick Foley, and your daughter Rosie.
My daughter Rosie posing. I don't know what she's doing there. A little
She's giving an elbow. She's giving an elbow.
Oh, she's giving the elbow too. I remember Foley when I got to see him and I was doing the impression. He's like, I need to take some pics, will you? And I said, of course, this is amazing. He's like, give me a bionic elbow. He's like, but don't really give it to me. I'm like, Mick, I like you too much to do that, baby. You know I'll never hurt you, baby. And this is actually at Six Flags Great Adventure. They have a wrestling show every year. And just a normal day for me going on the rides in the polka dots.
Should fans expect you there this year?
Going on the rides and, getting to elbow some Hall of Fame legendary wrestlers while you're there.
Should the fans expect you there this year if they do a wrestling event?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll definitely be there.
If you're watching this, make sure you go out. It's 2023, and maybe you see the Dream there and get a picture with him.
Yeah, I'll be there. Maybe I'll be there. Having some popcorn and going on the roller coasters. And there's Willie Apter.
Legendary Bill Apter.
Yeah, legendary. Such a nice man. He's at the show, Legends of the Ring show, and he sees me, and I tell him, Willie, I said, Bill, it's an important day. You know what today is? And he's like, no. He had wrapped up his camera. I'm like, baby, it's been 7 years since we lost a dream. And he goes, what's today's date? He's like, you're right. And he goes to his camera guy. He goes, get the camera. He's like, I got to do something quick. And, he interviewed me. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to do that at all. I didn't expect him to do it. I had just told him why I was dressed the way I was. And he knew Dusty personally. And he was like, you are right. And he goes, this is a great tribute to him on the day he passed. And I told him, I know it's a sad day. And, his family's probably just, mourning, and all the wrestling world is still mourning him. I said, but in everything I do, I try and make people laugh and feel good and remember the good times, baby. And that's me putting a polka dot headband like I'm wearing on Bill Apter. Really great guy. And another moment of meeting someone legendary in the, in the business, in the industry. And baby, I'm just a common fan.
At the event where you met Dusty, didn't Bill Apter come up to you also there and have you cut a little promo?
Yes, he did. But I don't think he realized it's the same guy.
Probably not.
I don't think people think the same guy's in wearing the polka dots still.
I think they're starting to catch on to that now.
Well, people who follow me on social media are starting to see my posts, especially my memories from years back. And they're like, oh my God, you've been doing this that long? They don't, this wasn't just hey, Cody's back and talking about Dusty, let's bring out Dusty. No, it's the proof is in the pudding there. It's been going on a long time. And whenever people ask me, did you ever, I wish you would have got to meet Dusty, I always send them that picture. This is a StarCast, baby, a StarCast.
Let's go to StarCast now.
I swear to you, I was more nervous meeting his family than meeting anyone else. And this is Dusty's daughter, Teal. I had told her who I was. I introduced myself, and I kind of gave her a little of the backstory. And I don't know if you know this, Paul, but I got a surprise for you. The guy who took my ticket when we met Dusty, who was, I guess, his manager at the time, was there that day managing their table. And I didn't see him at first. So I'm telling the story to Teal and Michelle, Dusty's wife and daughter. And he comes from behind me and he puts his arm around and he goes, I remember this guy. I was there the day he met Dusty, and Dusty gave him the blessing. And my jaw dropped. And I looked at him. I said, you're the guy who took my ticket. It was a yellow ticket. He goes, I remember that day. He says, I remember everybody laughing and Dusty laughing. And there's Michelle.
Dusty's wife.
Michelle Reynolds, Dusty's wife, who Cody had recently called her mean-ass Cuban mom. But the sweetest lady. And back to the polka dots, I had asked both of them. I said, listen, I want your honest opinion. People sometimes say that the polka dots are not Dusty, or it was this, or it was that. I said, I want your honest opinion. Do you like the polka dots? And should I continue wearing the polka dots? And she said, I love the polka dots, Mike. She goes, Dusty made a lot of money doing that. And, they're still, I said, I feel they're iconic. They're an iconic Dusty look. And she agreed. And she said, I love the polka dots. She goes, and now we got 2023 polka dot action figures, polka dot Funko Pops, chalk line jackets. So they still appreciate it during, that time in his career.
It's made a resurgence, dare I say.
Yeah, it's definitely made a resurgence. Cody has worn them in tribute to Dusty. So has Dustin. So has Brandy Rhodes. So if they didn't want them around anymore, none of that would have been. There would have been no merchandise. It wouldn't happen. So it's a part of his career. It's part of his career. The 18 months he was there, WWE at the time, but people love it. It's over. It's more over than it's ever been. So here we are.
I know we're jumping around a little bit.
No, we should jump around. Cody, this is the first live event I attend after Cody returns to WWE.
This is right before he tore his pec, right?
Pretty much like a month or so before. And I say to myself, I had watched a lot of Dusty interviews, and I know it was very important to Dusty that he wanted to be remembered. Also, he just don't want to be remembered for polka dots. So I said, I'm going to go the simple, old school Dusty NWA look. I said, I don't even know if anyone's going to realize it, who I'm supposed to be. But, they did. And I'm sitting in the crowd, and Cody says, Dusty Rhodes is in the crowd tonight. And my heart jumped out of my chest. And he had said, you look the part of Dusty. He goes, good, can you do a Dusty impersonation? And I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, this is really going to happen? So he invites me down to ringside. He introduces me as the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, which blew my mind. And, I had said something directly that Dusty had said during an interview with Vince McMahon back in maybe 1978. And as soon as I started talking, maybe the second words came out of my mouth, he knew exactly what I was going to say. And he really got, some people say he's emotional there. Some people say he's laughing. I'm looking straight into a WWE camera and I'm concentrating so hard not to fumble my words. I'm not even paying attention to him. But this is a great shot. This is a great shot of him. And people will tell me, oh, Cody doesn't like when people do Dusty impersonations or this or that.
So
Maybe he doesn't like.
That was the rumor for some time, and I think you've
he
proven that wrong now.
He had stated it. I think it depends how it's done. If you're just going to go up to Cody and start, saying all that stuff, but when you take your time and, I'm looking online to try and find all this stuff that he wore, and everything with Dusty was custom, so it's not something you just go out and buy, and really get the look down and to say what I said in the interview, a direct quote from Dusty back in the late 70s, maybe early 80s. I think he appreciates it. It's not the polka dots. It's a totally different era. It's a totally different saying, something that he did. Baby, just walking that aisle there. And
when you thought it couldn't get bigger than what you did, cutting a promo with a microphone, and we get to a very recent video posted by the WWE on Instagram, which you could still see on their Instagram account.
For me to be under a WWE logo is an unbelievable dream come true. It defies all odds. It really does. It really is special. Once in a lifetime opportunity as a fan. Similar thing. Go to a show in my neck of the woods. Cody's there. I said to myself, let's go back to the polka dots. Cody last saw me in the NWA. I said, let's do the polka dots. Cody said, is Dusty in the arena? He says, come down to the ring. I want to invite you to come down to the ring. And we do the whole Bullet Club. And I'm just, man, it is a blur. I got to walk the aisle. I'm in the ring.
It looks like Doc Gallows has one of those tag team ropes on his chin.
Baby, Doc Gallows got that long chin, you know what I'm saying? That long beard looks like the tag rope that I had to hold on when I tagged it, with Dick Murdoch, you know what I'm saying? The Texas Outlaws. We held that rope, you know what I'm saying? You got to hold on to that rope. But
that's a little insight for some of your boys.
Yeah, some people might know that.
Maybe we could get them on the show potentially.
We'll see.
You never know.
But this is a dream. I'm in a WWE ring, dressed as Dusty, with his son, who to me is the biggest name in professional wrestling right now. And I give him a hug, and I raise his hand, and we had a little, conversation there. I said to him, I don't know what to say to you. I don't know how to thank you. And he was more thanking me. He goes, thank you. He goes, he was like, thank you. I said, I don't even know how to thank you. And I said, can I raise your hand? And he said, yes. And I raised his hand and pointed him. Baby, that's a passing of the torch. You know what I'm saying? That's like The Rock and Cena and Hogan and The Rock. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost exactly.
It's exactly like that, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's exactly why WWE. I mean, those three pictures can you make something of Hogan and The Rock, then The Rock and Cena, and then me and Cody?
I know people were talking about that with Cena and Cody, but no, this is
okay.
This is it here.
It's a house show, so it really never happened. It wasn't on TV.
It was shared on the WWE account.
Correct.
I don't know.
True.
It's canon. It's like
it's canon. It's canon WWE. So, man, I just wonder what the people who work for WWE are thinking, who were in the back. Pritchard. Imagine what Pritchard's thinking when he sees this. The year is 2023. A couple of days later, I actually went to see Cody at a signing, and I literally went there to say thank you. And I told him, I said, I came all the way here to say thank you for everything. And he goes, you're welcome. And he was just so nice to me. And that's my friend Lou there. I call him Mr. Polka Dots. He's been going to some events with me. Baby, that's my bodyguard. Any trouble happens, baby, he's right there. There's no messing around. Really passionate wrestling fan. He actually went to the Rumble. He went to Mania. Really good guy.
Let's go through some fans that we have left, since that was your friend Lou. Some other people you've met in your journey that I have pictures of here.
Okay, so that's Lou. I don't know who these two kids are, but they are awesome.
This is Starcast also?
This is the night of Trenton, because I'm wearing the NWA Dusty. Baby, that's the Rhodes Warriors, baby, the Rhodes Warriors.
You got the pop? Did you get the
yeah, we got those pop? Those kids definitely got the Road Warrior pop. Awesome. Whoever their dad is the dad of the year. And I posted that picture, and somehow someone from Animal's family, Laronitis, had liked it. Baby, that's Bianca Belair, baby. That little girl. That's some
great cosplay.
That is great cosplay. Yeah. I said, no, that's not her taking a picture with me. That's me taking a picture with her. I went up to her parents, and I said, I love her outfit. I said, if it's possible, can I get a picture of it? And she goes, yes, Dusty, we know who you are. Of course you can get a picture with her.
I mean, if anything, this hopefully gets to Bianca Belair, because this is
it's amazing. And this was at Monday Night Raw in July. So yeah, like I said in the beginning, you guys know my story now. Not a lot of people know it in bits and pieces. There's my friend Diane Sheik. There he is right there. And I've met so many amazing people, fans, wrestlers, people in the business. And just being a normal, common fan. And baby, just I'm a common fan. People ask me. And there's me and my daughter, Rosie. She's probably
the number one fan.
My number one fan. I could do no wrong. I am so over, baby, with her. You know what I'm saying? And it's brought me unbelievable, once in a lifetime moments. And when I went to that show, someone said, "You think Cody's going to call you down?" I said, "Listen, lightning usually doesn't strike twice." I said, "I'm here to have a good time and see him and have fun with the fans." And when he called me up, I said, this is, how do you top? They keep saying, how do you top this and how do you top this? But there's a lot of stuff. Like we saw before, there's a lot of fans that have amazing stories out there, and this is going to be their place to be able to tell it. And that's why I started. I feel like I have a connection with the people. They've kind of not brought me in, but they've given me a peek behind the curtain. They brought me into their world a little bit, just as a fan. And I'd love to have other fans show, their stories and share their stories, because there's a lot of them that aren't told, and I want to tell them. So this is what this is going to be like. Now that you know my story.
Yeah, I think we got a pretty in-depth. We went much longer than we initially anticipated.
Well, we're going back 10 years.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff
to cover in there.
A lot to cover. There's still other stuff probably that has happened that.
For sure. And we didn't show a lot of the stuff.
So many, meeting so many people. But so I have some people in mind that I want to bring on as first guests already. I'm just trying to get some confirmation. And I have people in my head that I've met definitely that I know their story deserves to be told. And like I said, fans can reach out if you have a story to be told or someone
Absolutely.
We contact us.
We're going to have our YouTube channel, which is how you're going to be watching this, is the Common Fan. As we opened with, the email address for the show is commonfanshow@gmail.com. And on the screen, you can see both of our Twitter handles. Is that your Twitter handle, Mike? Or that's your Instagram?
I've changed everything to that now. All my social media.
Yeah, so there's many ways to reach out to us. However you feel comfortable is the way to go. And we'll have lots of different people and guests and topics on the show. I do want to mention real quick, the open for the show is a temporary thing, and we thought it might be a cool idea for someone to create us a theme for the show, a theme, a video, either or, and we'll go through them. Maybe we'll play some of our favorites on the show if we get a few submissions. And the one we pick as the winner, I wouldn't say the best, but the winner, we'll have that person on the show. So it gives you some incentive.
Sounds good, baby.
Right? If the person wants to create the theme, we'll have someone for that episode. If you want to create an actual video package, which would be cool, something it could be creative, it could be a video game, it could be anything, and we're open to it. As you saw, the open that we have, we're not the most artistic when it comes to music or throwing together an intro, but
that rap song is better than 90% of the rap out there now. What are you talking about? The cold-blooded sausage maker. You know what I'm saying? And you little piggies. You're the little piggies. But in this case, I am the cold-blooded sausage maker.
I think that's a good place to end our first episode, the debut of the Dream. And this was fun, Mike.
Yeah, it was fun going down memory lane. And like I said, this pretty much tells a big chunk of the 10-year history of Dusty cosplay and Dusty tribute. And hopefully there's more memories on the way.
I think there will be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so long, everybody.